a new beginning for all of you and me. A new room in a new corridor with different stories. It's a time for a fresh start to wipe our old slates clean. So let's get off on the right foot and work as one big team. So let's make a deal and write the rules together. A contract or whatever, so that we all have fun. And when we're all agreed, we'll sign it together. Stick to it forever until the year is done.
Borodar Foundation Phase, I hope you are all super and having a lovely time being back in school, because I know your teachers, from talking to them, are really, really lucky to have such fabulous children to be teaching. So, first things first, we need to have a little look at the Welsh phrase of the week. And that is, Gari'r fynd i'r tŷ bach os gwelwch yn dda. And that means, can I go to the toilet? So instead of saying, can I go to the toilet? Or, as some of us say, can I have a toilet? Can you try and say, Gari'r fynd i'r tŷ bach os gwelwch yn dda? And maybe, if you give it your best shot, your teachers might give you a dojo for trying. So, yesterday was a very special day. It was Roald Dahl Day. Now, you might not know who that is, but if you have a little look at the pictures on the screen, you can see there's Willy Wonka, you can see the golden ticket, you can see there's a giant peach, the BFG. So you might recognise some of those stories, and Roald Dahl is the person who wrote them. So we're going to have a little look at who is Roald Dahl. What type of stories did he write? I wonder if you've got any Roald Dahl books. And what is Roald Dahl Day? So first of all, who was Roald Dahl? So he was born on the 13th of September, and he was a British novelist and a short story writer. He also wrote some poems, and he used to be a fighter pilot. His stories are known for unexpected endings, and his children books for their unusual humour. His works for children include James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, The Witches, Fantastic Mr. Fox, The BFG, George's Marvellous Medicine, and The Twits. And I wonder which one of those stories that you guys have read, or you might have seen the films. So what is Roald Dahl Day? So September is his birthday month, and each year we celebrate with a wonderful array of events around that date of the 13th of September. So 2021, the year we're in now, is the 16th annual Roald Dahl Day. So for 16 years, we've been having a day all about Roald Dahl. Some people might have parties, they might read books, they might dress up in school, and it just helps to celebrate who he was. And anything raised goes to a charity. So Roald Dahl was actually born near Cardiff. So he was born quite close to where we live. And Roald Dahl's parents, Harold and Sophie, were both Norwegian, and he was named after Norway's famous polar explorer. Roald Dahl's father, Harold, was a successful shipbroker. However, he did die when he was only young, so he grew up not having his dad. He went to a school in Cardiff until he was 9, and then he went to a boarding school in England for 4 years. So he stayed at that school, he didn't go home, he stayed there every single day. When the World War broke out, he joined the Royal Air Force. Since he was so tall, his fellow pilots called him Lofty, and he had to cram himself inside the cockpit of his fighter plane. So he wasn't just a writer, he did lots of other important things too. So Roald Dahl turned his adventures in the war into a story for adults, and he began to write many famous novels and short stories for adults and children. He sometimes found it difficult to write stories for adults and began sending his stories for children instead. So he didn't set out to write such fabulous books, but he just did. So his first children's book was called The Gremlins, and it's about little mischievous creatures that were part of the Royal Air Force. His children's work are usually told from the point of view of a child, and they typically involve villains who hate and mistreat children, and feature at least one good adult. So these are some of the books you might have read. The BFG, The Twits, that book was one of my favourites when I was a little girl. It's very, very funny. And George's Marvellous Medicine. So during 1980s, he turned 70 and he became a literacy legend, and one new book after another achieved success. His very last book was Matilda, and it was about a little girl who overcomes her bullying parents. And in 6 months, he sold 500,000 copies, which is absolutely incredible. Being a writer is a super job. Now, some famous quotes that I want you to remember. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. You can write about anything for children as long as you've got humour. Grown-ups are complicated creatures. They're full of quirks and secrets. A person who has good thoughts can never be ugly. So if you think nice things, you can never be a bad person. You can have a wonky nose and a crooked mouth and a double chin and stick out teeth. But if you have good thoughts, they will shine out of your face like sunbeams and you will always look lovely. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Roald Dahl Day, and I'm sure some of us in our classrooms, I know year 2, we've got some provision activities that are all centred about celebrating Roald Dahl. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all soon. Hwyl fawr!